Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is a new thing that I came up with, and I'm here with Chromastone64. Isn't that right?
64.
64. I got the number wrong. I'm smart.
If you can't tell, we have definitely planned this out.
I planned everything.
I should probably actually talk towards the microphone as well.
Yes, you should.
You sound like you have someone with a gun to your head. Whatever.
I don't know. Anyway, we're here to talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ, or FighterZ, or Z FighterZs, or whatever you want to call it. What's it called?
Five men standing around yelling for 5 minutes.
Now, as you
fighting game.
Now, as you may be able to tell, I've made videos about Dragon Ball before. I like Dragon Ball. I like Z. Super's alright. Had a bit of a rough start. GT was alright. Evolution can go to hell. What do you think of Dragon Ball?
I have only played Xenoverse 2, and that is the most I have had experience with the franchise, apart from some of this game.
Oh, and my favourite Dragon Ball game is Fusions. His is Xenoverse 2, obviously. If you want to see his stuff, go to the link in the description in the box thing. Now, let's talk about FighterZ, starting with... Let me just get my notes up. Gameplay design. What do you think?
It's definitely a fun fighting game. As someone who's played quite a few of them, it's... compared to most fighting games, it does feel very fluid. I like the Kai Blast mechanic, where you can attack from basically any range, plus the charging. Basically, you're never not doing anything in a fighting game. There's never just shuffling around, waiting for the opponent to make a move. It's always kinetic, always trying to do something, you're always doing something. And it makes it feel much more kinetic and active.
Yeah, this was done by the same people who did, like, Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. So, what I like about this game, a lot of the things is Dragon Ball likes to follow the sort of open world thing, like with, especially with stuff like Xenoverse, where you just fly around, and Fusions, for examples. But this game is more just a straight up punch, fight, kick game.
It's a fighting game, 2-on-2.
It's
Fox only, no items, Final Destination.
You want to play a fighting game? I don't know, but to be fair though, I think some characters are better than others. Like, I personally feel Trunks is the best. I'm best with Trunks because I like his sword and I actually really like his character, his development. He just likes Beerus.
I like playing as Beerus. I heard before we played the game that he was like the worst character in the game. I'm actually pretty good at him. That and Majin Buu, but apparently he's overpowered.
Well, the thing about Beerus is he's a great character, but in the game I think he's a bit weird.
He's a bit, what's for dinner, Reese?
Yes. Anyway, so the whole I like how this game looks. Everything looks cool, especially the final attacks.
Yeah,
especially with
definitely the ultimate finishes. I've not seen many episodes of Dragon Ball, but the animation is spot on. Unless you're running it on a computer at the lower settings, that way it looks like a GBA game.
I do like, if you've seen the destructive finish with, especially, for example, the Kamehameha, which I've only seen with Cell, where he uses it and destroys the entire field, and you're just left with the image of a planet.
Yeah, destructible environments. I love how those are becoming a bit more of a thing in fighting games like this, and Injustice. I need to get Injustice 2, actually. It's definitely very... Like Reese says, the whole game is a spectacle to look at. Definitely the best looking Dragon Ball game. In my opinion, anyway.
I mean, when the competition is Fusions, which is a 3DS game, and this is versus a PS4 game.
I have not seen Fusions, actually.
Fusions is good, and we will play it. Let's move on to story.
Okay, the story. I played like 2 levels, so I can't really say anything.
The story's a bit weird with like...
Goku is not Goku, we're Goku, and inside Goku.
Yes.
It's me, Goku!
And his huge hands.
Yes, literally, like, it's the thing with, like, we're the silent protagonist inside his body, so you just got Goku, this guy who I hear is loud, rather obnoxious, opinion of him what you will, I haven't seen much of him to make a good opinion, but it's just him standing there with deadpan stares and just looking at his huge hands. It's honestly one of the most entertaining things I've done right now is just put, like, hilarious captions of his thoughts over what's going on. Like, there's a bit where Beerus shows up, and Beerus is talking to the Goku, who basically looks brain dead. And as he's staring at him, you just think Goku's thinking, is that a dog?
Or a cat.
I don't know.
Actually, Beerus was based on Akira Toriyama's cat. Basically, the whole idea is There's like time ripples are affecting everything, and the Red Ribbon Army are back from the original Dragon Ball.
I have no idea who those are.
The Red Ribbon Army are basically like an army that tried to take over the world.
That's what they always are.
Through androids and robots. So that they were destroyed. They were defeated by Goku in the original. But then when they came back with Dr. Gero in Z, who created Android 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and Cell. If we don't include 13, 14, or 15.
Okay.
There's a lot of androids. Android, and also the new leader of the Red Ribbon Army is Android 21.
Yes, this character who, even as I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball, I have seen everywhere. Seriously.
She's a meme.
Yes, I know she's a meme. Have you seen that outfit? It's freaking seizure-inducing.
It was designed by Toriyama.
Yeah.
Toriyama's a good designer.
Yeah. And then there's Margin, Android 21, who, as someone who knows nothing about Dragon Ball, I have no idea how that happened, and I'm probably scared to find out why.
I believe that the reason is because of she's basically like Cell. Cell was basically made up of different fighters, but she was made up partly of Majin Buu, I believe.
Ah.
So, yeah, that's why she looks like that and has a craving for turning people into sweets to eat them and consume their powers. Dragon Ball!
Right then.
Yeah, that's the story. Pretty much just that. You got to go around fighting them. There's different paths as well.
There's clones as well, because every fighting game has to have every single scrub NTC be a flipping clone. It's like the mannequins from Duodecim all over again.
There's like there's the Super Saiyan Saga, the Android Saga, and the Villain Saga, not in that order.
Yeah, my favorite stories from Sonic Adventure 2.
So let's move on to art style. What do you think of the art style?
Well, as I said before, this is definitely the best looking Dragon Ball game. I haven't seen a single episode of the anime. I've seen clip, but this is definitely the closest they could get to an actual episode of the game. Episode of the show.
It's a bit weird because some of the characters. It's weird because at the beginning Goku can only go Super Saiyan, but this is clearly at the point in the series where it's supposed to be in Dragon Ball Super due to Bulma's design and Beerus and Whis being present. It's not like set in Z, even though it's called FighterZ. FighterZ. So yeah, I really like all the character designs. I don't think the game incorporates elements of GT because of GT.
I don't know anything about GT. All I know is apparently it's the black sheep.
Yeah, it wasn't done by Toriyama. It was done by Toei Animation. So it's one of those types of things. So Super's there to basically replace, even though technically GT is still supposed to be canon. I don't really understand it to that thing. Anyway, back to the all the characters look great. I especially like the detail on stuff like
the super attacks.
Yeah, also stuff like Goku Black being able to pull out Pink's energy scythe, which he did in the anime, which I thought was a really cool thing. Also stuff like Cell being able to use the Kamehameha and other attacks like that.
It's basically fan service for Dragon Ball the game.
Oh yeah, that was fusions basically. Anyway, let's move on to the characters. What do you think of the characters?
As someone, again, never seen Dragon Ball, I like Beerus.
But what about Boo and his... What about Boo?
Okay, I admit, as a character who is a sucker for these stupid, big characters, I really like Boo. Even though I know he is like... His Kid Boo form is like literally the devil or something.
That's Janemba.
No, I mean that figuratively.
No, there's a movie villain called Janemba who is kind of a rip-off of Boo, who literally is the devil.
Right.
Also, Janemba's the best Dragon Ball villain in the movies. Fight me. So that's the sort of thing we're dealing with. I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't bring in some of the movie villains. I think they're going to be DLC. Some of the characters I'd really like to see is characters like Kefla, Broly. Even though Broly is kind of a stupid character, I'd still like to see him in the game just to see some of his attacks. His attacks are just amazing. I'd like to see some of the other movie villains, like the previously mentioned Janemba, because he's my favourite movie villain. Also, I think Cooler's coming.
Yeah, Cooler. They data mined voice lines for Cooler.
Yeah, so Cooler's is probably going to be in the game. Lord Slug, possibly King Piccolo, but that's just more a thing that they could do. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the character roster.
What about Toa and Mira?
If Xenoverse is canon to this,
I don't know. I don't know who. I only know
Toa and Mira are from the Dragon Ball Online canon. It's canonicity in Dragon Ball is really weird. Like Some accept a lot of... Xenoverse accepts a lot of canon. Fusions makes Xenoverse canon, so that's another reason you should play Fusions, but it's very weird. Like, you don't get name drops of Toa or Mira in, like, the main series, like in Super. They're basically expanded canon.
Okay.
So it's not like, oh, look, here's Toa and Mira. Let's fight them in the anime. It's one of those kinds of things. But,
okay.
I don't know, I kind of feel like the whole Super... I don't know. Something I'm a bit confused over is the Super Saiyan forms of how... Goku and Vegeta can only go Super Saiyan 1 or 2 or whichever, but then Gotenks can go Super Saiyan 3.
I think it's just for character. I think that's purely gameplay reason-wise. I think it's just like, I don't know the difference of power between them, but I think it's so like,
well, let me put it...
in this situation, Gotenks would be able to stand against them.
Well, let me put it this way. If this was going by the series, Gotenks would be punching them both in the face and basically beating them up.
Just obliterating them, basically.
Just obliterating them right
Also,
across
by the way,
field.
obligatory call out. What the hell is up with Gotenks' walk cycle? The way he walks, it's just...
It's amazing!
Put so much music over that. People make memes, spread it around, do it, please.
The characters, I feel, they're pretty much all in character from what I've seen of the whole story. I mean, stuff like 18 and 17. I mean, I like how in the game, a lot of the assists, like Captain Ginyu, his assists are like the Ginyu Force, and Android 18's assist is Android 17. So I like stuff. I like fan servicing moments. Like, even though they're not like playable characters in the game, you can still have fan servicing moments. It's
all attention to detail about what made the characters popular and what characters are associated with them, basically.
Yeah, Android 17 just got shafted. God damn it. I mean, from
what I've seen of them, or her, him, I couldn't really tell with that voice. It looks like they could just put it in as an alternate colour.
I mean, I assume with DLC they'll also be including a load of Supers characters, like the recently introduced Jiren, who's like stronger than Gods of Destructions in the anime. So I think he'll be DLC probably. I mean, I'd like some of the stuff from GT that I didn't mind, like Super Saiyan 4 being in the game, but I don't think they'll do that. I mean, I'd also like to see Super Saiyan God Blue with like different characters.
I thought that was called Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
Well, that's a different name from the... I mean, what I'd like to see is like characters that don't normally get, like say like Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3. I know he didn't do it in the anime because Super Saiyan 3 is really taxing. I'd also like to see, like say like Gohan, for example, getting Super Saiyan Blue or Super Saiyan God, that sort of stuff.
I just realised, does that technically mean there's... Oh no, you can't play as Kid Gohan, so there's two versions of Gohan in the game.
Yes, there's Kid Gohan as Super Saiyan 2 and Mystic Gohan.
Okay, that's 3, but whatever.
No, the Mystical's the adult one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the whole like thing of like the story is a bit not like... It's not the best story, I think.
I get the feeling this game was mainly focused on fan service, just giving making a Dragon Ball fighting game and just making it that, a Dragon Ball fighting
it's basically
game.
I would have liked more Easter eggs like Fusion, because stuff like Fusions did a lot of things for like Dragon Ball's fan service, so like baby possessing Hirudegon or Janemba and Boo fusing. I think that's very good fan servicey stuff that people have never seen but have always wanted to see. I feel like that's what we should be seeing, like stuff like that. But I don't know, the game's fine.
Yeah.
Also, what do you think of the dub?
I find the voice acting actually it's pretty decent. Well, apart from a few lines from Goku. I don't mind Goku's voice. I don't find Goku's voice that bad, really, because it sounds...
I actually prefer Sean Schemmel's English version. I don't know. I like Monica Rial as Bulma. I think she's really good. I also like Beerus as Beerus and Whis. I think they're still really good characters.
Reese is... I kind of like Reese. He seems a bit smug, though.
Yeah,
Reese, whatever you call it. It's confusing, though, because I keep thinking Goku's voice actor voices someone else called Reese, but I have to look that up.
I don't know. We're not going into Turl. Turles isn't in this game.
Okay, I'm getting so... Okay, I'll just roll with that, because I thought Turles was Goku Black, because at this point there's so many evil Gokus, I'm losing track.
There's like 2 evil Gokus. I mean, unless you don't involve that time where Goku was possessed by Ginyu.
Yeah, that's not technically another Goku, that's just someone else.
There's only really 2 evil versions of Goku, and Turles isn't even really an evil version of Goku, he just looks like...
Whatever.
So yeah, So what do you think of the music?
The music, okay, that's one thing I was going to bring up about Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2 too. The music is amazing. They definitely get energetic guitar riff, and I'm not an expert when it comes to music, but it's 100% fitting. Adrenaline pumping, Just everything you would probably expect from a Dragon Ball fight.
Does it play Charla? I don't think the game ever plays Charla Head Chalar at the beginning. I could be wrong.
I don't know what that is.
I think this is the opening of the series. It's
okay.
It's the theme song. It's the one they play at the beginning of Xenoverse.
Oh, that...
Yeah, Charla Head Chalar. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, okay.
That one. That's the main. I don't think ever. I like it from what I've heard. I mean, all I hear is. That's probably my favorite.
Sounds like a Mega Man stage. You
can set it to like different like music depending on the stage. You can have it set
and that
to
is a good touch. That's what I like about fighting games. I love it when games like let you change the music, characters. When games like this give you full control about how the fight looks and feels. Like choose a stage, choose a character, choose a color scheme. That's basically given. But choosing the music, that really lets you create some really awesome scenarios.
There's something else I want to talk about. What do you think of the characters changing color of the characters design?
Color scheme, change color schemes. That's a given in most fighting games, no matter what fighting game it is. The color schemes are pretty good. Giant stark red Boo looks a bit weird though.
Also, what do you think of the ability to knock someone out of a stage and into another stage?
That is very Injustice. It's a really good touch. I love when games do it. It allows you to do tons of damage, change up the battlefield, and look good doing it. It's three birds one.
So overall, what do we think of the game?
It's definitely a good game. I'm not a fan of Dragon... Well, I'm not saying I don't hate Dragon Ball. I just haven't really got into it because of how huge it is. But this is a bloody good game, and I wouldn't mind playing more of it.
He's enjoyed it.
Definitely enjoyed it. I highly recommend getting this game.
I would highly recommend it as well. So I think that's everything. Also, one more thing quickly. That walk cycle.
Anyway. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
Shameless channel plug.
Don't forget to subscribe to his channel, which is
Chromastone64. I do funny videos sometimes. I promise I'll make more content. Please don't hate me.
Alright, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.